Okay, if you are into the conspiracy theory of the future, including for you and I and everybody else that is alive to witness it, the high energy weapons, the direct energy manipulation, if you want to call it that. If you want to imagine a future where high-tech quantum computers of, again, military intelligence per se, can manipulate light and other energy at the speed of light, so instantaneously, wherever. Sounds like halfway teleportation. It sounds like evaporation teleport. It sounds like you could teleport a bomb, teleport anything, really. Right? Sounds kind of crazy. We're halfway there. Think of it as we're halfway there. First, back up to the Department of Defense, Mrs. Mark Esper, making an announcement as the Air Force celebrates a birthday. So listen to this for just a moment.
And professionals. First and foremost, I'd like to wish a happy birthday to the United States Air Force. For 73 years and counting, you have provided our nation with unlimited reach, unmatched power, and unyielding vigilance across the globe. As we look toward the next 7 decades and beyond, emerging technologies are fundamentally altering the character of warfare. Our air, space, and cyber personnel will be at the forefront of tomorrow's high-end fight. In the years ahead, wars will be fought not just on land and sea, as they have for thousands of years, or in the air as they have for the past century, but also in outer space and cyberspace in unprecedented ways. Preparing for this requires...
Think about just abstract thinking. What does space and cyberspace have in common, other than the intangibility of you ever really realistically traveling it? You don't travel in cyberspace and you don't travel in regular space, but you don't. NASA does. But can you imagine a world where they are able to manipulate time and space? Is essentially what they're saying. We're going to fight wars in unprecedented ways using quantum technology in space, so outer space and cyberspace. Well, what's cyberspace then? If you have outer space, and then inner space is the world we live in, that's terrestrial world. Cyberspace would be the world, the quantum world within that. That's the world we've created digitally.
Modernizing our force for high-intensity conflict. It requires strengthening our network of allies and partners, and it requires expanding our warfighting capabilities across all 5 of these domains.
Okay, go back and listen to that whole 11 and some minute deal from the Department of Justice or Department of Defense Twitter. That's Mark Esper talking. But then check this out, not the ad. Check this out. This is what I wanted to show you. This is the direct energy weapon that's being announced at the Air Force today. And this is not announced today, rather, but this is being highlighted today, posted about today. So I wanted to show this today. This is not new news, but it's news that Mark Esper is saying, hey, this is now being touted as finished product. We have it. Take a look at what this energy weapon does. This is phenomenal. Oh, hang on. Let me see if I can shrink it down just a bit. I'll restart this so you don't have to watch it moving around like an a-hole. Okay, here we go. A megawatt class airborne laser beam. And look at it, it's not hitting a specific target, it's stopping at a specific point. So have they invented a laser that they can direct at a focal point and have it stop at that point? It doesn't just go on forever? Because if that's the case, then they can target energy, like they're saying, at computers. They could see a plane in movement, en route, and they could fry its computer from tens of thousands of miles away with a beam. Fry the laser. Fry it with a laser. Fry the computer. On board the plane. This is direct energy. Directed energy, harnessing the power of the electromagnetic spectrum to enable airmen to effectively and affordably strike. Unreal. So I'll read the rest of this article for you. This says the U.S. Air Force has unprecedented power to direct energy in a way that serves, protects, and champions freedom. This is coming from military.com. From powerful electromagnetics to electro-optics, they are always exploring new ways to give our war fighters the upper hand, harnessing the power of the electromagnetic spectrum to enable airmen to effectively and affordably strike critical targets at the speed of light. Again, at the speed of light, they can strike any critical target they want. Pardon the cold, I'm sorry I'm a little stuffy. But if they can see, again, if they can see anything on radar, if they can see anything on a computer system around the world, and then they have a satellite, say, that's outfitted with this technology, because again, they've had this since 2019. I have a video up from a month ago showing the launch of all these satellites for like SpaceLink. What are the odds that they also are equipped with some of these lasers? If and when they ever needed to have directed energy weapons and laser weapons. This says, the U.S. Air Force has an unprecedented power to direct energy in a way that serves, protects, and champions freedom. Like we talked about, allows airmen to effectively and affordably strike critical targets at the speed of light. Directed energy also enables experimentation, prototyping, and exploration of material and non-material solutions. What does that mean again? Directed energy enables experimentation. Okay, so you're going to have a ton of people in science now saying, well, if you're releasing this technology for the world to see, we ought to be able to play with it and see what we can do with it. See what we can do good, see what we can do bad, so that we can predict what other people will do that's bad. And in doing that, you're going to have prototyping of different weapons, different savior mechanisms. No doubt you're going to see this kind of technology used to try to create dumbass Iron Man suits. For real. And then the exploration piece of the material and non-material solutions. So that tells me it's all quantum computing that they're thinking of. How are we going to align this with force? Force, meaning, are we going to have quantum computing that aligns with force? Military technology using quantum computing technology. Interesting. So, we have a laser that can shoot a computer out of the sky, on board seemingly anything. If you had Air Force One or Air Force Zero flying above you and you used a directed energy weapon on the computer system on board that plane, that's done. Assuming that they don't have a backup. So, if this falls into the wrong hands, is that not worth worrying about? Are we announcing this because we know that we have a lock on it? I have no idea. Watch the rest of this though. This is wild. Amplified light frequencies. Talking about air, speed, flexibility, precision. These lasers can do a whole lot. So there's a bunch of different directed energy weapons. They have a whole class. That's what they've been doing. DARPA. Interesting if that pops up on once in a while. Check into DARPA if you don't know what that is. So here we go. You have man-made based lasers. Obviously they're man-made, but I mean operated, Earth-based lasers. We have them now airborne. You can bet we have them in satellites. We can bet we have them in space already because, as I showed you, Mark Esper is telling you, war will be fought in space. We'll be zapping satellites out of space. If we see a satellite owned by CNN because Israeli intelligence launched it so that they can try to infiltrate the United States with bad media, we'll zap it. That's what we're telling you is coming. So be aware of that. In the future, directed energy weapons are going to become a norm, and you're going to see that be celebrated in the news and in the military. And this is from military.com, so check that out. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of the video. Like the video if you did, and if you didn't, then like it anyways because it'll help get some attention. Subscribe to the channel because that always helps. And then make sure you're doing all that you can do to keep America afloat.